everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we're going to take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the all-new 2016 Nissan Maxima SR. This is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Maxima. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over the performance data, take it on a thorough road test, and show you many of the unique aspects throughout the interior as well as exterior. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start it up, let it run. Remote start also comes standard on the SR. All you have to do is just make sure the vehicle is locked, then hold the top button for a few seconds and it'll automatically go. All trim levels come standard with a remote smart key access system. All you have to do is just keep the key fob in your pocket and tap the little chrome buttons on the driver and passenger side door handle to lock and unlock the vehicle. Our tester is finished in deep blue pearl paired to a charcoal interior that's tailored specifically for the SR, featuring a combination of premium Ascot leather and Alcantara upholstery. When you first hop in, the Maxima start-stop button starts to pulsate red like the car's beating heart. To start the car, all you have to do is just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then simply put your foot on the brake and hit the console-mounted button to go. The Maxima features speed-sensitive, hydroelectric power-assisted steering routed through a sporty, flat-bottom, 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel. In our tester, it's wrapped in a combination of high-quality leather and perforated Alcantara with blue accent stitching. There's big grip bolsters at 10 and 2 with angled silver trim on either side of the airbag that mimics the V shape of the grille up front. The overall steering ratio is 15.3 to 1 and it takes 2.63 turns to lock. The turning diameter is 38.1 feet. We'll discuss ride quality and handling later in the video, but the Maxima feels pretty agile with quick and responsive steering. Of course, being front-wheel drive with 300 horsepower, torque steer and understeer is a possibility when pushed beyond its limitations, but in normal driving I didn't notice any sort of hiccups. The car drives fantastic. Like its predecessor, the Maxima delivers power to the front wheels through Nissan's Xtronic Continuously Variable Transmission or CVT. Unlike the typical 6, 7, and 8-speed automatics available today, a CVT does not have fixed ratios. The benefits lie in its ability to vary the ratios, allowing revs to be kept low in normal driving to maximize fuel efficiency and making sure based on the speed of travel that the transmission is always in the right gearing at the right time for quicker response and reduced lag when more power is needed. For 2016, Xtronic features a wider spread of ratios, now ranging between 2.413 and 0.383 to boost fuel economy and initial acceleration. As I discussed in my recent Pathfinder review, it's impressive how advanced these CVTs have gotten. While I will always prefer a traditional automatic in my own cars, the Maxima is a perfect example of a well-designed CVT. It's smooth and quiet, combining consistent RPM low-speed acceleration with new D-step shifting logic that actually gives the impression of rapid gear changes under harder acceleration. It's difficult to explain the sensation via video, but you gotta give credit where it's due. It never droned and was always responsive on kickdowns. Is a CVT the sportiest option out there? No, but it doesn't diminish the car's driving enjoyment in my opinion. Nissan has done an excellent job with giving the Maxima CVT a more performance-oriented feel than its other models. The new shifting logic also features a lateral G-force sensor which tells the car to hold the RPMs when cornering for greater acceleration on exit. If you want a little bit more control over the transmission, the SR features massive column-mounted paddle shifters that allow you to shift through 7 simulated gears. It's quite interesting and fairly responsive, only it doesn't give you the feedback of an actual gear change. The smooth nature is still there as the only real indication you're shifting through the ratios is a change in RPMs and engine note. A backup camera with adaptive guidance lines is standard, while a 360-degree around-view camera system is standard on the Platinum. For the first time, the Maxima gains a drive mode selector in the center console with sport and normal modes. They adjust throttle response, transmission logic, steering feel, and engine sound. Therefore, if selecting sport mode, the throttle and transmission become more responsive, the steering weight increases, and a more aggressive engine note permeates the cabin. So let's go ahead and flip on the automatic projector headlamps, fog lamps, as well as the hazards. LED low beams are standard on the SR and Platinum. Both front windows are fully automatic and feature acoustic laminated glass for extra noise insulation. So now let's go and check out the exterior. Upon closing the door, the vehicle will chime a few times to let you know it's lost detection of the proximity key fob. For 2016, Nissan has launched the all-new 8th generation Maxima, completely redesigned inside and out for a sleeker, more efficient, and fun-to-drive package. The nameplate has been around since the early 80s, but it wasn't until the 3rd generation, produced from 1989 through 1994, that Nissan began branding it as the 4-door sports car, or 4DSC. The full-size sedan segment has grown significantly and even more competitive over the years as manufacturers fight for supremacy. The latest Maxima builds upon the last 2 generations with a similar formula as before, reinvented for a modern era. Now offered in 5 trim levels, including the Maxima S, SV, SL, SR, and Platinum, there's more variety to choose from than ever before. Nissan has also simplified the buying process as all equipment comes standard relative to the trim level, with no additional options. This makes things a lot easier as you're able to simply pick a trim level based on the type of features that you want. Prices range from $32,510 to $39,960 between the Maxima S and Platinum respectively. The SR lists for $37,770. To kick things off, the new Maxima rides on a redesigned unibody platform that benefits from an increased use of lightweight, high-strength steels and aluminum, increasing torsional rigidity by 25% while helping shed 82 pounds over the previous generation. Nissan claims the Maxima's power-to-weight ratio is greater than both the BMW 335i and the Acura TLX V6. Comparing dimensions, the new car is 2.2 inches longer overall and rides on the same length wheelbase as before. Height was reduced by 1.3 inches while width remains the same. The new Maxima makes a bold statement with an all-new language that's both dramatic and sporty. Stemming from Nissan's sports sedan concept from a couple years back, it's an adventurous direction to say the least. Nissan says the main inspiration for the car's design came from the US Navy's Blue Angels, evoking a fighter jet feel inside and out. If you appreciate attention to detail, the Maxima is a visual treat, featuring a number of unique cues that give it a signature identity unlike anything else. Up front is Nissan's new V-Motion grille that meets up with elongated boomerang headlamps that feature signature LED daytime running lights. Front fog lamps are standard on all trims, while LED low-beam headlamps are standard on the SR and Platinum. If you look carefully, you'll notice 4DSC is now etched in both the headlamps and tail lamps. The hood is now made from aluminum. Given some continuity to the design are a pair of creases along the hood that connect the lines of the grille with the bases of the A-pillars. In the middle of the hood is a power bulge that looks to imitate a NACA duct. The roofline combines traits from both the GTR and the new Murano to create a roofline that appears to fully float in midair thanks to blacked out A and B pillars and a blacked out strip across the C pillars. The side view mirrors are also blacked out, integrating LED turn signal indicators. The SR is the sportiest Maxima currently available, featuring firmer suspension tuning for sharper handling and unique design elements inside and out to set it apart from the rest of the lineup. For example, the dual-panel panoramic moonroof that's offered in the SL and Platinum trims is not available on the SR, as Nissan claims it lowers the car's center of gravity and gives the SR an extra degree of torsional rigidity. The Maxima appears to have been shaped by the wind, streamlined and sculpted to offer a more planted stance than before, with flared fenders, side skirts, and broad shoulders. With a drag coefficient between 0.29 and 0.3, it's also aerodynamically efficient. A special metal stamping technique was developed to create the flowing lines that begin in the front fenders and trail into the rear doors. Scalloped sections in the lower doors give an additional lighting contrast to highlight the chiseled silhouette. Out back, the tail lamps echo the boomerang style seen in the front and feature their own LED lighting elements. Dual chrome exhaust finishes round out the sporty touches. While I wouldn't call the Maxima a sports car in the purest sense of the word, it definitely offers a lot when it comes to fresh and distinctive styling, great road manners, and sporty characteristics relative to the class. All Maximas aside from the SR come standard with 18 by 8 inch painted alloy wheels. The SR's unique 19-inch diamond-turned alloys make quite the statement with a dramatic 5 split-spoke design. 245/40 Goodyear Eagle F1 all-season tires specifically developed for the Maxima come standard, but performance-oriented summer tires are also available. Together, this allows the SR to hold a little under 0.9 G of lateral acceleration. The brakes consist of 4-wheel internally ventilated discs measuring 12.6 inches in front and 12.1 inches in the rear, accompanied by electronic brake force distribution, brake assist, and a 4-channel 4-sensor 4-wheel analog braking system. It's able to stop from 60 miles an hour in 115 feet. The Maxima suspension is fully independent, featuring subframe mounted struts in front with coil springs, twin-tube dampers, and a 24.2mm stabilizer bar. Out back, there's a multi-link setup with monotube dampers and a 26.5mm stabilizer bar. The SR features unique suspension and damper tuning along with a larger 26.2mm front stabilizer bar for a firmer ride compared to the rest of the lineup, leading to sharper and more dynamic handling through the corners. Nissan claims the monotube rear dampers were originally developed for the SR, but with the added benefits of high temperature fade resistance compared to twin tube dampers, they decided to include them across all trim levels. I haven't driven any of the other trim levels yet, but if you prefer a softer ride, the SR might not be the model for you as it is quite stiff at times. A Yamaha Performance chassis damper similar to the 370Z Nismo is installed on the front section of the chassis. It's designed to mitigate high-frequency vibrations that can be transferred through the body via the SR's stiffer suspension. Fully adaptive dampers are not available, but the SR has this integrated dynamic control module that combines 3 systems to enhance control and response over other Maximas. These include active ride control, which uses the brakes to stabilize the chassis after encountering a bump or undulation in the ride to maintain a level profile. Active trace control is essentially a brake-based torque vectoring system to maintain a constant line through corners, while active engine braking downshifts the CVT automatically when braking, slowing the car down with less effort from the driver and prepping the ratios for faster response out of a curve. The latter works in conjunction with the lateral G sensors I mentioned earlier. It all happens in the background and really makes the car feel well controlled and stable despite the stiffer ride. Overall length is 192.8 inches with a width of 73.2 inches and a height of 56.5 inches. Wheelbase is 109.3 inches while curb weight is 3,564 pounds for the SR. 61% of that weight rides over the front. The Maxima is powered by an all-aluminum 3.5-liter V6. It's mounted transversely and features dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, dual variable valve timing, and sequential multi-port fuel injection. The compression ratio is 10.6 to 1, while maximum engine speed is 6,600 RPM. The engine receives a substantial redesign for 2016 that benefits from more than 60% new components compared to its predecessor. In addition to a new cylinder head design, a stiffer oil pan, a more efficient intake manifold, revised piston surfacing, and piston rings, the engine now uses sodium-filled exhaust valves, an element borrowed from the GTR to help absorb heat more efficiently from the combustion chambers. It develops 300 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 261 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. That's 10 more horsepower than the previous Maxima with identical torque, leading to a specific output of 85.7 horsepower per liter. This allows the Maxima to achieve a 0 to 60 time of less than 6 seconds and pass the quarter mile in about 14.4 seconds at 100 miles an hour. I would estimate top speed to be in the neighborhood of 130 miles an hour. The Maxima feels quick, always having plenty of power on tap. While the car is whisper quiet thanks to added insulation measures, the engine provides an aggressive note, especially hearing it at the exhaust. More of the sound can be enjoyed by putting the car into sport mode, where added sound is augmented throughout the cabin. Along with the performance enhancements, both city and highway fuel economy sees big increases over last year's model. EPA estimated mileage now ranges between 22 miles to a gallon in the city and 30 miles to a gallon on the highway, compared to 19 miles to a gallon and 26 miles to a gallon respectively. Expect an average of around 25 miles to a gallon. Premium fuel is recommended for best performance and is held within an 18-gallon tank. The Maxima's all-new interior is a welcomed upgrade over its predecessor, featuring all of the latest technology and safety you can ask for, along with improved build quality, greater attention to detail, and enhanced comfort for the front and rear occupants. Properly equipped, the environment is quite luxurious, but even in more basic trims, Nissan did not cut corner when it comes to the appointments. For example, a significant amount of soft touch material lines the upper doors, dash, and center console. The center stack in the dash is tilted 7 degrees towards the driver to emphasize the cockpit feel. The SR's interior is unique in the lineup as the seats are wrapped in a combination of ascot leather and diamond quilted and perforated Alcantara upholstery. Alcantara also makes its way to the door panels and steering wheel. Color accent stitching throughout adds some thoughtful detail into the SR, as does diamond patterned satin silver trim and soft white ambient illumination across the doors and dash. The stitching is blue when paired to the charcoal interior. A high contrast two-tone camel interior is also an option. More premium styling touches include tasteful gloss black trim and chrome bright work. The doors feature a modest amount of storage, while the driver's door houses your power windows, locks, and mirrors. Nissan's zero-gravity seats are standard across all Maximas, designed with a sporty theme in mind, with added lateral support to complement the seat's 3-layer foam design. The driver and passenger side seats are fully powered, while the driver's side features added lumbar support and manual thigh extension. They're quite comfortable and fatigue-reducing on long trips. A manual tilting telescoping steering wheel is standard but comes fully powered on the Platinum. Climate-controlled front seats and a heated steering wheel is standard on the SR. Both the headrests and seatbelts are adjustable. The glove box is lockable, damped, and is lined in felt. There's a ton of space inside. Standard on the SL, SR, and Platinum are a host of driver assistance and safety features, including forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control, forward emergency braking, rear cross traffic alert, and blind spot monitoring. Also standard on the Platinum is a new driver attention alert system, which provides an audible and visual warning if the system judges that the driver may not be attentive by analyzing steering inputs to detect changes in driving behavior, similar in concept to systems used by Mercedes-Benz.
So let's go ahead and see how she sounds, both sitting still and on the road. Now let's go ahead and shut her up and check out some of the interior features.
The Maxima S and SV come standard with an 8-speaker audio system, but stepping up to the SL, SR, and Platinum, you get an excellent Bose premium audio system with 11 speakers and center point surround sound. All trims come standard with the Nissan Connect infotainment system routed through an 8-inch touchscreen mounted in the dash. It features navigation, Sirius XM satellite radio, HD radio, Bluetooth telephone and audio streaming, an in-dash CD player, USB connectivity, and more. We first got a taste of this system in the 2015 Nissan Murano. It's pretty simple to use with a customizable main menu, and it also integrates a lot of smartphone type technology when it comes to swiping and pinching. The majority of all of your features are located in the icons in the bottom portion of the screen. Like I talked about earlier in the video, the 360-degree around view camera system is only available in the Platinum trim. All of the pillars are wrapped in soft cloth, there's side curtain airbags and padded visors, with illuminated vanity mirrors. The rearview mirror is auto-dimming with 3-position garage home link located underneath. Up in the headliner dispersed throughout you have hands-free Bluetooth microphones. In the center stack here you have LED illumination controls as well as reading lamps, not to mention a padded sunglass container. Right beneath the infotainment system, you have a standard dual-zone electronic automatic climate control system with one-touch automatic off to the left, front and rear defrost, fan speed, different zones, and temperature on either side. Across the center stack, there's plenty of satin silver bright work and high-gloss black trim. Towards the very bottom, just ahead of the cup holders, is a little felt-lined storage compartment with 2 USB ports and an auxiliary port. Across either side of the center console, there's some stitched padded material, which is also kind of nice because it provides a nice soft place to rest your knee on a longer trip. Right ahead of the drive modes is a small rotary wheel that you can use to control the infotainment system if you didn't want to go to the touchscreen route. You can tip it forward, backward, left, and right in addition to rotating it. You push down to select an option. It's a pretty simple setup to use overall and might actually be a little bit easier when you're driving down the road, for example. There's a back button right here, a shortcut for the home, as well as map and repeating navigation commands. So as far as a quick example of how to use it, if you tip the wheel up and down, you can go between these set of icons and the upper set. When in the upper set, rotating it left and right allows you to go between the different icons, as well as the different pages. Tipping it down, for example, if we want to go to our real-time weather updates, hit OK when you get over to Info, scroll over, Sirius XM Weather. So, pretty simple. The SR comes standard with 3-stage heated and ventilated seats for the front occupants. There's a full padded armrest, again with the color accent stitching, and a pretty good sized storage well, lined in felt, some chain storage, and a 12-volt power outlet. As far as the steering wheel, on the right hand side you have your cruise control and adaptive cruise system where you can set the distance between you and the car in front of you. There's also your hands-free telephone and voice commands.
You can interrupt voice prompts and speak a command immediately by pushing the talk switch. You can also use the up-down switch on the steering wheel to select an item from the displayed list. Please say or select a command.
To the left-hand side are some of your radio controls as well as the controls that correspond to the driver information system by the 7-inch LCD screen in between the speedometer and tachometer. So right now we have it in the sport display. You have an instantaneous power meter right there, digital speed readout, oil pressure, as well as vehicle temperature. You can go left and right, show different warnings. Settings, if you hit the little OK and use the toggle lever to go between there, you can personalize different things. There's a home menu, an audio screen, navigation, compass, and also shows you the weather outside. Information, trip computer, fuel economy, various driving aids, tire pressure monitoring system, and the sports screen again. In the top you have your driver assistance feature display, what you have currently active, your digital clock, outside temperature in the very bottom, trip computer, what gear you're in, distance to empty, and drive mode. Your intermittent wipers to the right, to the left, lighting and turn signals. On the far left-hand side of the dash, you have your interior lighting dimmer and trip reset. Underneath, trunk release, stability control, and heated steering wheel activation. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and shut her down. And we'll check out the back seat. Alright, so what's the back seat like in the all-new Maxima? I'm 5'10", and with a comfortable seating position for myself in front, I probably have a good 3 inches or so. Headroom, though, is a little bit limited. It's probably about an inch. So if you're around 6 feet and over, the Maxima's back seat might be a little too tight for you to be really comfortable. A lot of that is because of the sloping roofline right here. While it gives the car a very cool and sporty, like coupe-like profile, it compromises the overall interior space back here. But again, if you're around 5'10" or shorter, it's more than enough. As far as comfort, just like the front, the back seat evokes more of a sporty feel, I guess. There's still a ton of padding down below, but there's a lot of bolstering across the sides as well as across the back, so you have a little bit of lateral grip, which is nice in this class. Definitely different. Of course, just like the front, you have a ton of premium build elements back here for the class. Everything closes with a nice soft thud, and the doors are wrapped in soft touch material, including the upper portions, the faux suede across the middle portion, and the padded armrest down below, with the satin silver diamond pattern trim, the high gloss trim, a little bit of chrome. It looks really nice. Down below you have a lot of storage, including a water bottle holder. There's 2 seat back pockets, air vents down below there, grip handles, reading lamps, and Bluetooth microphones all around the vehicle. There's 2 up front, 1 back here, so all the passengers can be heard equally. Of course, you can seat up to 5 people in the Maxima. When you climb up in the middle, you lose a little bit of headspace. My head is just now touching the ceiling, but there's an adjustable third headrest in the middle, seatbelt and everything like that, so it's definitely there if you want to use it. There's side curtain airbags, child seat anchors for either side, and a full padded armrest with a bit of storage and 2 cup holders. But that's about it, so let's go and check out the trunk space. Out back, the Maxima has around 14.3 cubic feet of cargo space, which isn't bad, but it's not as much as some of the competition. The overall average in the segment, I think, is around 16 cubic feet. I know the Toyota Avalon, Ford Fusion, Chevrolet Impala, Chrysler 300, and Dodge Charger all have more cargo space. The Chevrolet Impala, I believe, has the most at almost 19 cubic feet. But it's still got its practical touches, including a 60-40 split rear seat where you can load cargo all the way to the front. There's a storage net out back, your spare tire is located underneath the trunk floor, and everything's lined in carpet. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the all-new 2016 Nissan Maxima SR. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's always a lot more where that came from. Take care guys.